everybody, how's it going? Max with BuzzTox here, and I am back with a long overdue breakdown of the most recent trailer for A House of Dragon. But not only am I recapping the last trailer, I am bringing all the trailers together to do a full, cohesive, and chronological breakdown of what we're going to see in House of the Dragon. Now, first, I want to warn you, there's going to be minor spoilers. However, I'm not going to get into really substantial spoilers that could ruin the enjoyment of the show. I just want to give some context so people actually know the characters and what is happening. But for starters, I just want to set the stage. King Viserys Targaryen ruled the Seven Kingdoms, and he had a wife in which he had 3 children. The firstborn was Rhaenyra. After some time passed, his wife died, and he remarried Alicent Hightower. They're a great house from Old Town. And then this guy ended up having kids with her. So with his first wife, he had 3 children, and with Alicent Hightower, he had 4 children. So it's quite the conundrum. King Viserys wants his firstborn child, Rhaenyra Targaryen, to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms. But his current wife wants her children to sit the Iron Throne. So you can see how things can get pretty tense. And things are going to be quite tense. Because unlike Game of Thrones where families are feuding, these families have fire-breathing lizards. And we're going to be seeing that culture perpetuate throughout the show. Here, I believe we see a burial of a dragon. Whereas here, we can see the birth of potentially new dragons. At this time, Targaryens didn't have to burn themselves at the stake to be born with their dragons. So on top of seeing a lot more dragons, we're going to be seeing a lot more Targaryens. Like here, for example, is House Valerian. They're a very rich house that's basically located on an island near Dragonstone. And this family is going to be a great supporter of Rhaenyra Targaryen, and they support her in being the new ruler and queen of the Seven Kingdoms. And we'll see if this scene dives into Rhaenyra's marriage. And here I believe we're either saying the courting or the marriage of Rhaenyra Targaryen to Laenor Valerian. We even see Laenor's mother here talking about the problems a woman will face in this world of becoming a ruler, a leader. And I believe we're going to see that a lot in this season, where the king is supporting Rhaenyra and his daughter, and I believe they have many talks about her sitting the Iron Throne. But because it is so politicized and because she's a woman, we're going to be seeing King Viserys doing things to ensure that she will sit the throne after his death. Like here, for example, an event is being held to have all the great houses pledge their sword at her feet as being the new queen of the Seven Kingdoms. That includes House Valerian, House Baratheon, and House Stark. So Rhaenyra is going to have a great following. But this show is going to take place over a long period of time. And as the king ends up meeting his new wife, Alicent Hightower, new bonds are going to be made, new relationships are going to be made. And it's going to put a rift in between the family. And we're going to start seeing that at political events. This tournament could be held for any number of reasons, including a celebration of the king's anniversary to his wife, Alicent Hightower. But the most important thing is that there's going to start to become a divide in the family, where the Targaryen house is now split between the blacks and the greens. And that terminology comes from the dresses that these ladies were wearing at this tournament. So while all this is happening, we also have Damon Targaryen. He is the brother of the king, and the two don't get along great. Damon has been pining for his brother's daughter, Rhaenyra, which is pretty crazy, but not for Targaryens. He ends up wedding someone else, having other kids with someone else, and we see him here flying his dragon, Caraxes. Another thing interesting with Damon's past, he created and revitalized the Kingsguard and the Gold Cloaks. He wanted them to be respected. We see them here beating the living shit out of people, and it ended up creating the iconic gold armor and gold cloaks that we saw in the Game of Thrones series. But as the show will go on, we'll continue to see a rift between the blacks and the greens. Alicent Hightower's father, Otto Hightower, becomes Hand of the King. And we're going to see these families come together again when a death occurs, and we see them interact at a funeral. We also see even more interaction between these families in the Great Hall. And these are going to further push a rift between the families. We see Alicent Hightower pull a knife on Rhaenyra. But all these conflicts are going to come to a head when the king dies. And this is where the story actually begins. And that's when Rhaenyra is married to Damon Targaryen, and they hold Dragonstone. So it's going to become a race to try and get allies. And this is where the war starts to begin. We see Otto talking to his daughter Alicent. I'm guessing this is after the king's death. And it's plotting as to what to do next. Because Rhaenyra is supposed to be queen. Even though King Viserys had her rule instead of his brother, and instead of the next male after his brother. So the king broke a lot of rules to have Rhaenyra rule the Seven Kingdoms. And that would at least be the Hightower argument. So they take that moment, use it as an opportunity to try and take power over the Iron Throne. And it causes a complete civil war. People will fight and die. I don't want to spoil who this character is, but he is definitely a Targaryen. And his death will cause a lot of drama. And then we finally see the painted table, and we're going to be spending some time with it. Because there's going to be a lot of plans to be made to go and create allies, fortify military, and secure Rhaenyra the Iron Throne. But anyways, that is all I have to say about this trailer. If you like what you heard or have any theories yourself, please leave a comment down below. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.
It remembers names.